Hello and welcome to Critical Political Thinking. My name is Corey Camasso and I'm your host. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the Democratic puppet, and that is the now President of the United States, and that is Joe Biden. Why do we call him a puppet? We're going to go over the details. We're going to go over just exactly why he is in hiding, as well as we're going to go over the future of the American legislation over the next 4 years and exactly what to expect and how things will exactly play out, even with the system of checks and balances. We are no longer in a balanced system, and we're going to get into details over all of that. Additionally, we're going to talk a little bit about how the voting laws have just been changed or are about to be changed through H.R. 1 and why I have a feeling it's going to go through the Senate, just like as we're going to go over in how legislation will go over the next 4 years. And we're going to cover all of that in one big bubble. Additionally, we're going to talk a little bit more about cancel culture. And one of the things that have been canceled included, and that is the systematic cancellation of the white race. We're going to talk about recognizing your whiteness and how that can play out over the next few years, and what we as Caucasians, and you, if not Caucasian, as a person of color or a person of a different orient, can see it from our perspective. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very informative episode of Critical Political Thinking. Hello and welcome to Critical Political Thinking. My name's Corey Camasso and I'm your host. We're going to start today's episode off with Joe Biden and the puppet of the left. And why do we say puppet? Well, let's first talk about what is a puppet. A puppet is something that is controlled by someone else, something that speaks for someone else, something that moves by someone else. And I think that came very clear in one of his most recent press conferences when basically the end came about and he was ready to take questions. I guess I could take questions. Should I take questions, Nancy? Boom. Shut right off. And why is that? Because they were not pre-scripted questions. And the entire Democratic Party that is in control, well, I shouldn't say the entire Democratic Party, but the several high Democratic people within the White House, chief of staff, so on and so forth, all of these individuals are the people that are addressing and controlling Joe Biden and hiding him. Take into account the fact that every single president for the past 100 years had addressed the nation by now or had responded to the press by now. Joe Biden has not. He claims it's because he's addressing a pandemic. He claims it's because simply he has to handle the border crisis. He claims it's because he wants to work on H.R. 1. But at the end of the day, we know what it is. And if you don't, shame on you because you're blind. What it is very simple. Super simple, as a matter of fact. Joe Biden is incapable of handling himself without a jumbotron teleprompter. He is incapable of addressing independent questions that have not been pre-scripted, pre-selected, and pre-answered for him. If he is not reading the answer, it is without a doubt about to be a gaffe. Without a doubt, almost each and every single appearance, and it's getting worse. And I'm not doing this to make fun of Joe Biden. Please, don't think we're trying to make fun of him. But he chose to run for president of the United States. He is incapable of handling that position. Now, we knew damn well Kamala Harris would not have won by herself. She would not have won the presidency. She does not have the ability. She does not have the drive or ambition that the majority of Americans have, and most people wouldn't have even bothered to come out for her. And it's kind of sad because now what we have is we have people crossing the border being given Biden let us in t-shirts to push this agenda. So, I mean, we have to look at this. Where is he? He is hidden from the public. No press conferences whatsoever. No State of the Union. No press conference where, I know I said press conferences, but I'm talking in a sense that, even responding to press questions after events. It doesn't happen unless they're pre-scripted. There has been no real question since he fumbled with responding about Hunter Biden, and they've been hiding him ever since. And whatever happened to the Hunter Biden scandal, by the way? That just kind of fell off. How come the media is not covering? How come the media is not following up? No one seems to care. And the only person that we can see from the White House we can't stand, Jen Psaki, is a mess. That person will circle back around, and hopefully she circles around until she gets dizzy, passes out, doesn't get hurt, but sleeps off the next 4 years, because we can't take her. We have yet to get a straight answer. We have yet to get anything but lies, manipulation. I mean, just take a look at her body language, for Christ's sake. You can tell that nothing that she's stating she has confidence in. And that's scary. And that's in complete contrast to the gem that was Kayleigh McHenry. She's amazing. She did an amazing, phenomenal job. With her binder, she had everything in order, every answer to a question. She didn't have to refer you to the Department of Justice. She didn't have to refer you to a different department because she had the answers. She predicted what you were going to ask and addressed it. And it's kind of sad because, you think the Democrats would already have everything pre-scripted. But since everyone's throwing her softball questions anyway, it doesn't really matter. And now the only questions they're throwing are more about Andrew Cuomo. Speaking of which, we'll just touch on that real quick. We're up to 5 allegations. Last time we talked about him, it was 3. 5 sexual allegations, sexual misconduct allegations against Andrew Cuomo. And it makes you wonder, why now? I know. To hide the nursing home scandal. Isn't that sad? They rather throw him under the bus than all 5 governors that are all involved in this nursing home scandal. They have to hide that quick and hurry up and put it on Cuomo, put it on Cuomo. Don't worry, we're not letting it go. We're not forgetting about it. It's going to come out. Sorry, Cuomo, you're caught. But let's get back to Joe Biden and why it's a serious issue. Now, you have to look at who's controlling Joe Biden and wonder who it is and what is their actual agenda. And we're seeing what the actual agenda is through all of the dictatorial executive orders that are being forced upon us. Additionally, a new one today to basically reinforce all of the individuals coming across the border to have the ability to immediately vote in the next presidential election. Why? Because they know they didn't actually win unless it was for the changes that the Democratic governors made to the election system to make way for COVID. However, we all know why they actually happened, and we all know that H.R. 1 is basically a little bit of an addition to whatever Biden couldn't push through on the executive order. And then in addition to that, it's also to change the way PAC money goes forever. And what that means is, let's say AOC, somebody we all hate, on the right at least. I don't know why you'd like her. She has no idea what she's doing. She doesn't belong in that position. We can say that with fact. But anyway, lo and behold, let's say AOC gets a $200 donation. Under this H.R. 1, the taxpayers, people that didn't even want to do this, now have to give 6-to-1 donations on that. That's right, 6-to-1. So if they get 200 in donations, they'd get 6-to-1 on taxpayer money based on H.R. 1. That will forever bolster the pockets of social media, bolster the pockets of big media, all of the main networks that are going to be running these ads that they now have substantial amounts of money to pay for. And they're well aware that they're the people that beat the conservatives about 2-to-1 on, financial donations, because they do have the big business. They do have social media. People think it's, oh, no, that's the Republicans. They're the rich people. You have no idea. The Democratic Party has switched, and it is exactly what they did not used to be. You have no idea. They are big business. They are big tech. They run everything right now. They are Silicon Valley, and they are Hollywood. They control everything. And additionally, let's talk about now how they control the future of legislation in our country. Take, for instance, the COVID bill, the wonderful COVID bill we talked about 2 days ago. The one that has 10% for COVID and 90% extending all the way to 2028 as bailouts for the Democratic Party. Let's take that. And let's look at the way people voted. Did you know that one Republican voted for it? And yet they have the nerve, some senators have the nerve, Democratic senators, no, 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 this is bipartisan. They could just come to us and we could help them put it in. What do you mean you could help them put it in? This is a bipartisan country. There are two parties in this country. There are more than two parties in this country, but two major parties and major amounts of people in each. I mean, literally, almost half of the country is conservative, half of the country Democrat. And you're telling me that now we have to go through you, and if you don't like it, it's not even going to be debated. And on top of it, that's how you consider things bipartisan, not something that we could put into it and then vote on. Nope, it doesn't matter. And why? Because we'll put it through the way we want to put it through the House, since we occupy and run the House. And then once we get it into the Senate, since we now run that, we'll just push it through that way. And if it does come to a tie, we'll get Kamala. She'll throw it on our side. That's how that works. So, what's to stop them from putting through everything, including the Green New Deal? Mark my words, it's going to go through. Another $2 trillion wasted, gone right through. AOC jump, oh, I'm so successful, I did it. No, you didn't. The only thing you did is trick America, deceive America, and waste American taxpayer money on bullshit. It's disgusting and it's disgraceful, people, and it's happening day in and day out. And additionally, now, if we try to fight it, if we try to have our own voice or our own opinion, it is now being labeled as racist. And since the majority of the Conservative Party is Caucasian, we are now being forced to recognize our whiteness. Hell, Coca-Cola is telling you to be less white. That's why I will never purchase another Coca-Cola product again. Because who are you to tell me how to enjoy my heritage or my culture? Just like I would never tell a person of color to be less black. I would never tell a person of, Spanish orient to be less brown. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. You have the right to be who you are. So many people claim that they want equality, and that's all they want is racial, social justice, equality. And then it changed. Then when they realized they can get an inch, they took a goddamn football field. And now what we have is we have a full cancel culture where now whites are being canceled. How is that fair? When all we ever wanted was equality. We're trying to learn, and all of a sudden, now, just because a few people have guilt, white guilt, they have to go and accuse other whites of being, quote-unquote, racist. So what is it that makes me racist because I'm proud of being white? So that's just it. You should be proud of who you are. Just like people of color should be proud of who they are. Why not? Why not be proud of your heritage? The only time you shouldn't be proud of your heritage is if you have something to be embarrassed of. And I don't see a person of color to have something to be embarrassed of. Not at all. Do I think that some people of color happen to live in lower economic areas? Absolutely. And does it happen to be the majority? Absolutely. And how can we help that? Simple. Education. Get them a proper education. And that all goes back into education. And that's something we're going to get into. But it has nothing to do with me being less white. It has to do with you being just as black. We're all human. Why does color have to have anything to do with America? Once you step foot in this country, your color shouldn't matter. Your heritage should matter. Your culture should matter. But looking at me and you, color shouldn't matter. Why should we have to recognize a color when it's not something we could change? If you can't change it, you shouldn't be held accountable for it. Common sense, people. It's not a choice. It's who we are. Therefore, you have to accept that. And we have to move forward. And until we can accept that we are all American, this country's never going anywhere. And the Democratic Party knows that racism sells. They know that it pushes their bullshit agenda and forces people onto their side. And they're willing to sacrifice the African Americans, the people of color. They're willing to sacrifice the brown, the racist, and now they're willing to sacrifice the whites because they don't even care about anybody. What they really care about is themselves and getting that vote and then getting that power. And then once they have that power completely locked up, mark my words, you will have nothing. Remember, it was Joe Biden that had that crime bill in '94. The only reason he's doing things right now is to benefit himself. It's bullshit, people. It's total bullshit. You know, we're taught love and equality. That's what I was taught, at least. And I've always practiced that. And now, just for the past year, things have changed. Simply because of who I am now being attacked. And I've never done that to a person of color in my entire life. I can honestly say that. So then why should I be attacked? We need to start judging people for who they are, not because of the color of their skin. When are people going to realize that? Culture matters, color doesn't. We need no hate in this world. Judge people by character. No special treatment. Why would you get special treatment for the color of your skin when it's not something you can change? It makes no sense. None whatsoever. What about the other things that are being canceled? Like Mr. Potato Head, for Christ's sake, a child's toy that's been around for God knows how long. It's a freaking potato. There's a Mrs. Potato Head. There's a Mr. Potato Head. If you don't want it to be a Mr. Potato Head, then don't put the Mr. parts on. Make your own. Be creative. But it doesn't mean you have to take away from somebody else. Just do your own thing. No one's stopping you. Aunt Jemima was an amazing product that really celebrated the heritage of that woman who made a great product, and now she's gone. Why? Because, oh no, that's racist. How is that racist? There was nothing racist about it. And if they took the time to do the research and the history of it, they would know that. U.S. presidents are now being canceled. The freaking people that made this country, the reason they have a voice to have the opinion and to have the freedoms to say the shit they're saying, and to cancel the people they're canceling, to put their money where their mouth is, they're now canceling. How does that make any sense? Mike Lindell, a recovered addict, somebody that built an empire out of nothing, absolutely nothing. And he's canceled simply for having an opinion. Not a racist opinion, not a violent opinion, just an opinion. And now all of a sudden, nope, he's no longer good. Neither are all the people that work at his store. Even if they may not agree with him, that was their job, but now they don't have it because all of these assholes canceled them for absolutely no reason. Don't you people see how dangerous this is? Eventually, you will all be canceled. Everybody, left, right. We're not going to put up with it. We're half of the country. Don't you realize it's half of the country? While the media is making it look like you're the majority, you're really not. Okay? You're really, really not. People, come on, wake up. Pepe Le Pew? Really? When those cartoons were made, that's how things were, okay? And while it may not be acceptable now, things change. We learn. We grow from that. And unless we can actually remember and see where we came from, we're bound to make those same mistakes again. How stupid are you? That's the point of history. It's the point of writing shit down. Not to cancel it, to keep it. God. The host of The Bachelor being canceled simply for supporting a girl that wore a dress, a style of dress years ago that had no idea what was about to happen years later, and now all of a sudden, no. And then the person that interviewed him, Michael Strahan, just another arrogant idiot who has 12 jobs, has the nerve to try and cancel that man's one job and then try and take that job. That's right, he wants that job. And NBC or ABC, I forget which one, says, Michael Strahan should be the new host since he's a racist. He's not a racist for supporting a girl who had no idea why she's even being canceled. Additionally, the entire basic family structure is now being canceled. Men are being canceled. What's next, people? Honestly, what's next? Please, tell me. It's getting sad. And we as conservatives need to rise up, stand up, and put our money where our mouth is. Stop supporting these asshole businesses. Stop using Facebook. Stop using Instagram. Stop using Twitter. Throw those you-know-whats to the curb. That's where they belong. Not only are you using their products, they're stealing all of your vital information. Everything about you they now know. Is that really what you want? That's what we're fighting against. Get rid of them. You don't need them. Use a phone. We made it how many years without that bullshit? We don't need it. We're better than that. We're better than that. Let's take it back to the roots and where things belong. Human interaction, things that matter. That's why this country is where it is, and we need to turn it back around and show people how great things can really be. We're never going to give up. It's never going to happen. So they may as well give up because we're not going to leave. This is our country just as much as it is their country. And I'm not saying the people that are crossing the border illegally now, because no, they should have to wait. They should have to earn that, just like every other immigrant has done throughout the years in the history of America. That's how it works. It's how you earn it, is how you enjoy it more and understand how valuable and how wonderful it truly is. And we're about to throw all that away. Additionally, we can no longer trust our electoral system. They're about to throw that away with H.R. 1 and this new executive order. And I really do suggest go to takethehouse.com. There's so much more information on there, and it's set up by senators and representatives, and it really is a really good site. So check it out, takethehouse.com. Additionally, they're just really screwing with everything at this point, and we have to work together and make sure that we let them know, even if they aren't somebody we voted for, we need to call these representatives, hound them, let them know we're not standing for this. We need to start picketing in front of their offices every time they do something stupid, like they just did with the COVID bill, like they are doing with H.R. 1. Stop them by calling, show up at their door, make them uncomfortable like they did for us for the past 8 months. And I'm not saying use violence. Do not go burn down buildings. Do not loot. Do not do anything of the sort. They're trying to equate the Capitol riots of the 6th to the tragic events of BLM for 8 months. 8 months of billions of dollars worth of legal damage to independent businesses, people's lives. People were beaten, cops executed. There's no comparison. They went after innocent people, for Christ's sakes. And yes, some cops too, but innocent people. And on top of that, you have the Capitol people. Who did they go after? Only the one building that they felt wronged them. They didn't go burn down the rest of Washington, D.C. like BLM did during Washington, D.C. when they disagreed. No, not at all. And the only reason they got into the Capitol is because Mayor Bowser, Nancy Pelosi, Sergeant-at-Arms, they never got the National Guard. They diddled around, manipulated the system so that they can get statehood. Mark my words, we're going to cover more about that. But they did everything. It's all a plan. It's all part of the bigger puzzle. And we have deciphered it. We're going to continue to give you the truth here at Critical Political Thinking. We're not going to let these liberal liars manipulate and take away our country. We need to work together. This is a bipartisan country. We all live here together. I'm not even saying we need to stop what they're doing, but we need to get to the table and make things work. You can't allow them to rule by this dictatorial bullshit where the balance is now like this because they have the Senate, they have the House, they have the presidency. They're going to change the Supreme Court. And the people they're going to put in there aren't like the people we have where they're actually bipartisan. They didn't listen to Trump. They didn't listen to anybody because they didn't believe it. Actually, 2 of them on the book said that they did think that there were irregularities and it did need to be looked at. But it wasn't their place to do it. It was up to the individual states because what the states did technically was legal, even though it was only in Democratic states and they changed the law to allow illegal voters to come in. That would have been illegal at one point. Now they're legal. Go figure. And this magically flipped the books. People, open your eyes. It's not going to get better before it gets worse. But this is our country, and we must stay with it. Stay together and stick with us here at Critical Political Thinking. We'll continue to share the truth and the unsuppressed news. If it's not on YouTube, you'll find it on Rumble. If it's not on Rumble or YouTube, you'll find it on our website at criticalpoliticalthinking.com. Visit the website today and join our Critical Political Thinkers Club. For either $19.99 or $49.99, you can join at 3 separate tiers where you can join and get the club, where you'll get exclusive access to all the unedited, raw, unsuppressed videos, a weekly content email, and a ton more. Additionally, you can get a mug or a t-shirt or both. So check it out at criticalpoliticalthinking.com. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. We are unmonetized and unpaid. So consider joining the club, or at least please share this video, subscribe, ring the notification bell, rumble, and echo this video. Help us get it out there. Help us share the truth. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Corey Camasso, and this is Critical Political Thinking. God bless America.